With that, I'm very happy to pass on to our first speaker. Alex is the online submission and preprints coordinator at SciELO Brazil and a member of the PKP Technical Committee since 2017. He will talk about SciELO and SciELO Preprints initiative. So Alex, please, welcome.
Thank you very much, Maria. Let me share my screen. Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm very happy to be here today. This has been a milestone for SciELO Preprints. We're very happy to be part of the database. So I'm here to talk a little about SciELO and SciELO Preprints before we jump into all the good stuff that's part of being part of Europe Pmc. So just very briefly about who we are. SciELO is an open science cooperation program. We started as open access and we are now moving towards open science. And it's oriented to the development of research communication capacities and infrastructures through a decentralized network of national collections of open access peer-reviewed journals. We launched it in '98. And since then, we have spanned through other 17 national collection of journals. Now with SciELO Preprints as well, the server, and the SciELO data repository as our latest initiatives, let's call it this way. So this is the concept evolution of SciELO. We started in the beginning building our core collection. We worked with journals and we were really concerned about the transition from the print to the digital environment. Then in 2013, once we were already very set in the digital world, then we started about talking about working in the digital modus operandi, let's call it this way. So we developed, we enhanced our online submission offerings and options for our journals. We started using XML based on JATs. We introduced continuous publication to our journals. And more recently, since 2018, we began our transition towards open science. And open science for us, we split in 4 main topics, which are preprints, open data, open peer review, and interoperability. So this is where we are now. We are in this transition. And to talk about preprints, which is our object today, I took this definition of what a preprint is from ASAP.io. So I'm going to read it for you very quickly. So we share the same definition of what a preprint is. So a preprint is a scientific manuscript that is uploaded by the authors to a public server. The preprint contains data and methods, but has not yet been accepted by a journal. While some servers perform brief quality control inspections, the author's manuscript is typically posted online within a day or so without peer review and can be viewed and possibly translated, reposted, or used in other ways depending on the license without charge by anyone in the world. So to put it simple, before that, there's this video that it explains in a very easy way what a preprint is. It's available on YouTube. You can type what are preprints, and it's one of the first, if not the first result that you will see. It's a very, as I said, very easy to follow video that explains truly what preprints are. So to put it simply, preprints are manuscripts either not evaluated by a journal or evaluated under evaluation, but in process of publication. So it has not been published yet. So this is a very simple way of how we define preprints. So about SciELO Preprints now, our server, the URL is preprints.cielo.org. We launched it a little over 2 years ago on April 7. So we are celebrating this month our second anniversary. We operate under Open Preprint Open Preprint System, which we call it OPS. It's a open source software developed by PKP, Public Knowledge Project. We have, as of now, 2.4 million total views, and still counting, of course. Our preprint with most views has over 234,000 views, following the counter methodology, which excludes robots and duplicate access. We are multilingual. This is key for us, and this is something that we're very excited about. The fact that Europe Pmc embraced our multilingual characteristics, so we're very happy about that. So for the moment, right now, we are mainly accepting preprints in Portuguese, English, and Spanish. And we have 3 levels of moderation. We call it format moderation, pre-moderation, and area moderation. So this is to assure a certain amount of quality to our preprints. And we're also multi-area, so we accept every subject area in our server. It's not in the slides, but I think it's worth mentioning. So this is how it looks. If you go to our server, you're going to find a list of latest preprints, and you can filter by areas of knowledge. You can do search. So it's pretty much it's very easy to navigate. I wanted to show some distribution in terms of language. We have most of our accepted preprints, the one that you can see on our server, are in Portuguese. So that's a little over half of the preprints, 65%, followed by English, and then slightly third place, Spanish. This is how the language are distributed. I also wanted to highlight the fact that we introduced a new component of Open Science recently. Last month, we introduced the integration with Pre-Review, which is an open peer review platform that reviews preprints. So authors that submit to our server are offered the choice to request reviews to the pre-review community. And it's another component of Open Science. We're very excited about this, integration. So a little bit about visibility. We launched it in April 2020, as I said, and back then we were indexed in SciELO's own search and Google Scholar as well. And this changed last month with the introduction of Europe Pmc. So we're now part of the Europe Pmc database. We're very excited about this because this will likely to give us more visibility. So we're very happy about this. And as next steps going forward, we will continue to build trust to our preprints and increase their visibility. So by doing how we're going to do that, we're going to encourage authors to deposit data associated to the research. So as a next step, we are looking at integrating with the Dataverse repository and other research data servers. This is in order to build trust to the preprints. And also we want to keep increasing our visibility. So we are looking at indexing SciELO Preprints with other indexers and directories. As I said, Europe Pmc will hopefully break some barriers in terms of multilingualism and move things forward toward a more multilingual inclusiveness. So we're very excited about this part. So thank you very much. This is our social networks. I invite you all to follow us, and I will pass back to Maria now.
Thank you, Alex. Yes, everybody, please do check out SciELO's social offerings. We are now going to ask Summer Rosanovsky, who is the Community Outreach Officer at Europe Pmc and an advocate for accessible science, to explain in a bit more detail what Europe Pmc is and the collaboration that we've launched with SciELO Preprints.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Maria, and that was a great talk from Alex there. So I'm going to explore with you what Europe Pmc is, the importance of preprints, the significance of including the SciELO preprints, and the benefits to the authors and readers of having preprints included in Europe Pmc. Firstly, let's begin with what is Europe Pmc. It's a free global database of biomedical and life science literature developed by EMBL-EBI and a partner of PubMed Central. And I'd like to thank our 36 funders as shown here. Europe Pmc contains a wide range of life science content, including articles, preprints, and other documents such as patents. This content is available as abstracts, full text, or links to free full text via the service on paywall. Since 2018, Europe Pmc has made over 425,000 preprints available and searchable alongside journal-published articles. This improves the discoverability of preprints, meaning that those searching the literature will find peer-reviewed published articles and preprint results all from one search. The way in which Europe Pmc search work is unique because it searches through the abstract and the full text compared to other literature search engines, which search for queries in either the abstract or full text. Searching through the abstract and full text can help find more results, which is especially helpful for emerging research fields where there may be fewer papers published on the topic. This approach also enables new search tools, for example, the ability to search specifically in article sections, such as results or methods. Finally, it increases the visibility of the author's work as there's a higher chance that their article will be found. Preprints are important for multiple reasons, including that they're free for both the author and the reader, increasing the accessibility of the research. The most up-to-date research can be shared and available immediately through preprints, allowing researchers to rapidly share data and findings and allowing for scientific discourse in real time, for example, as we've seen during the COVID pandemic. The rapid sharing of research acts as a benefit for authors as you can get credited for your work as you're doing it, reducing the chances of being scooped. There's also the opportunity for preprints to be reviewed publicly before publication, providing an opportunity for authors to receive feedback and improve their work before publication, helping to generate discussion and even raising the reviewer's research profile, which is excellent for early career researchers, and provide the author with rapid feedback before traditional publication. Importantly, preprints can also be improved and updated with new versions, keeping you up to date with important developments. So the significance of including SciELO's content in Europe Pmc is that it increases the number of preprints and servers that you can find in Europe Pmc, taking the total number of preprints to over 425,000, making preprint content more discoverable. This also has increased the amount of multilingual content discoverable in Europe Pmc and improving the discovery of preprints from the Global South. Arguably for us, the greatest significance is that the inclusion of multilingual content in Europe Pmc from SciELO preprints had led to conversations about the best ways to make articles in languages other than English more searchable and more discoverable. Of the preprints in Europe Pmc, over a third were later published in a journal. Over 12,000 have been cited, highlighting that preprints are a valuable and credible place to get scientific information. Over 152,000 preprints were claimed to ORCID, enabling authors to get credit and use preprints as part of your portfolio. Furthermore, 40,000 have data linked in Europe Pmc, adding value to the preprints. And over 22,000 have links to peer review, supporting readers trying to critically assess the preprint. And over 300 have lay summary, which aims to summarize scientific discoveries in an accessible way. For example, press releases, further supporting how valuable preprints are. One way to search for preprints in Europe PMC is after typing your search in the search bar, select preprints on the left-hand side under the search only type heading, so that you're just finding preprints for the query you're interested in. If you wish to specifically search for SciELO preprints, you can do that using the syntax shown here on the screen, and this will return to you over 1,000 preprints in either Portuguese, Spanish, or English. Europe PMC's tool section on the right-hand side allows you to get a citation for a preprint. So if you look on the screen, there's a green shape and that's circled around the get citation. If you click this, the following pop-up will appear, making it easy to cite the work. And in fact, over 12,000 preprints have been cited in the literature. So this tool makes it even easier for that to occur. In Europe PMC, you can also explore the citations of preprints, which you can find on the left-hand side. This includes a citation graph, which monitors the number of citations year by year, links to data citations and links to reviews, making it convenient for authors to assess their citation impact. And the graph can even be used to showcase this for various things, such as grant applications, reports for your funders, or university affiliations. Another way Europe PMC enhances user experience is by linking to the data behind the preprint. You can click on the links in this section and be taken to the relevant page to provide the user with more information, for example, about genes and protein structures. Europe PMC also has a review section where you can find links to reviews and recommendations from expert sources. This makes it easier to critically evaluate the preprint for readers, reviewers' comments, and can aid in building one's profile in the research community. To help readers scan the article and get a quick overview and find key concepts and discover evidence, Europe PMC has introduced an annotations tool. Annotations are biological entities, for example, gene oncology terms, as highlighted in this slide, that have been identified by a variety of expert text mining groups. There are over 40 different annotation types, including gene-disease relationships, experimental methods, and so on. The annotations feature provides a list of annotated concepts found in the text in the panel on the right-hand side. You can see the individual terms grouped by annotation category and the number of instances where the term was found. For chemicals and proteins, you can also see a structural view. Opportunities to explore. The inclusion of multilingual preprints from SciELO Preprints has provided some opportunities for Europe PMC to explore further. Firstly, this is including to increase discoverability of multilingual content by improving how the search function processes languages other than English, and to improve the text mining for multilingual content and improve the user experiences effectiveness of Europe PMC tools such as annotations, which will then improve discoverability of multilingual content included in Europe PMC, as well as looking into other data sources to increase the coverage that would allow Europe PMC to link to published articles and track preprint citations. So I'd like to thank you all for listening and then open the floor to any questions, which will be chaired by Maria.
Thank you both for the introductions. It was great to hear both about SciELO Preprints and Europe PMC's perspective on this. And of course, the reoccurring theme is the multilingual content and the best ways to handle it. Questions in the Q&A, we could begin with one directed to Alex. I know that you've mentioned what SciELO Preprints are going to be working next in terms of both integrating the data submission and looking to other indexers. But in an ideal world where anything would be possible for preprints, what kind of future would you want and why? Are there things that we just can't do yet but would like to strive towards for SciELO Preprints?
Right. First, I think one constant, very frequent demand from not only our server but other servers is the possibility of enhancing the way that preprints is connected to the research that is published in the journal. There's still a gap there to be treated. link these two, let's call it two entities of the same research. You have the preprint version and then the journal published version. And many times these two are not properly connected, because we rely on certain, right now we rely on certain technologies that are limited, and we would like to have better ways of handling that, because we really see the research as just one, and then you have different manifestations of the same research. So you have the preprints, you have the data, you have the peer review or the other reviews, and then you have the journal version. It's all manifestations of the same research that needs to be all connected and integrated. So this is something that we would like to see in the future. Also, we looking far ahead, we see the preprint platform as a way to be the center of the whole research community, because we can integrate peer review there, we can integrate data repositories and links to data repositories. So it's all going to be centered around the preprint server. And in fact, we might even have the journals being part of that. So taking advantage of this and using preprints to collect papers that are going to be later submitted to their own journals. In fact, we're even thinking about in the very not so far, or we don't know how far in the future, but online submission systems for journals might no longer be necessary, because the preprint platform could be the stage where everything happens. Of course, this needs to be further elaborated, and there are many implications of that, but this is something that we SciELO see as a possibility in the future to integrate preprints to the rest of the communication workflow, because right now it's kind of isolated. There are some connections, but we need to have deeper connections with the rest of the research communication flow.
Thank you, Alex. It actually brilliantly answers the first question we've received through the Q&A from Bianca, whether the roadmap for SciELO Preprints includes adding links to published articles via Crossref, and you've talked about that. Bianca also commented on extension of SciELO indexing to Dimensions and lens.org, so you can find SciELO Preprints in more than Google Scholar, SciELO, and Europe PMC. If there are other questions, please do pop them into the Q&A chat. Otherwise, I have one directed to Sama. And it is a similar one that we've had for Alex, but sort of looking forward at how Europe PMC deals with preprints. If anything was possible, what would be on the roadmap?
Yeah. So I think if anything was possible for the roadmap, it would be dealing with multilingual content in a much better way. So the way that the search works at the moment, if you're searching in English, you will not get the results for, let's say, a paper that's then written in Spanish, but actually let's say it was about COVID, but was about COVID as well, to do with those language changeovers. So it would be nice if you could search in English, but then also get the Spanish and Portuguese preprints coming up as well. That would be really great. And then to extend onto that, how the text mining works and the annotations. At the moment, these work really well for the English language, but they need to be improved so that they work better for Spanish, Portuguese, and other languages. So let's say sometimes there's a chemical or a protein that has a particular name, and that's actually a word in Spanish. So it will come up and it will be negative. It will be a false negative, because it isn't actually linked to this, but it will come up. So we're working on kind of, in an ideal world, looking and improving that so that these tools really work well and add the added value that you can get on those English preprints as well.
Thank you. And yes, I certainly hope that we see new discovery tools that are better suited to handle multilingual content and all of the challenges, but also opportunities that come with it, because we do acknowledge that science is a global affair, and there can be more than one approach to doing research. We don't have any further questions, so I thank our speakers and all of the participants